Yo, it's your boy Morphe checking back in with another banger. This one wasn't too crazy. He came in, his mom said we had to cut it all off. He do not know how to manage his hair. And she said just give him some type of fade. She really don't care what I do. But she wanted me to buzz everything off. So we about to give my guy a nice little transformation cut. So right in the front, where you can see already, you see he have a cowlick, man. That's why his hair was looking crazy, like towards the fringe area. So before I decided to knock it down, I just wanted to make sure which way his hair was growing. But since we are going in with a higher guard, which is a 4, I really don't have to worry about patching my client. But we just really want to keep checking them areas just to see where the hair is growing from the front hairline, so we know which direction to go in and start cutting. So I picked up the 4 with my 245 clipper, and I'm going into turbo mode because I want to rip right through this hair. And he has some thick hair, and we're just going to rip right through it. Notice how I didn't start on the front hairline because that's where you have the cowlicks at. So I'm being real careful when I get to the hairline area. I'm just going to lift up the hair with the comb and just see which direction the hair wants to grow. And that's the same way I am going to cut it. Now remember, since I am going in with a higher guard, yes, I could have just went right in and just cut the hair off, but I never cut this kid before. It's my first time cutting them, so I'm just playing everything safe, so I do not risk, leaving a patch right there at the hairline area. But this should be your easiest step throughout the whole haircut. And just knock down the hair and just cut the hair in the direction that it wants to grow. And I promise you'll be fine, man. Don't be playing around with the hair, especially when it's a buzz cut. Me, I just get a lot of joy just cutting clients' hair off, man. I just love seeing the hair just fall right off the client's head, man. Like, it's weird. But let's jump right into the cut. So I start off no guard open, and I decided to give him like a mid drop. So I am going to drop the guideline right underneath the occipital bone in the back. And I am starting with the lever all the way open, and this is just creating my shape of the fade. This is the way how the fade is going to look on his head. So that's all I'm worrying about creating right now, making sure that it's contoured and I'm actually tailoring this haircut to my client's head. And this is something new that I have been trying, with setting in my bald guidelines. I like to just come in with no guard all the way open. You set in the foundation, and then you come back with the clipper all the way closed, and then you set in your bald guideline. And that's just ensuring me that I can get this line out nice and easy. So now we're going to set in the bald guideline with the clipper all the way closed. And now you see me putting in that line with my clipper. And this line should be a lot easier to come out because we are setting it in with the clipper. And what do you take your bald guideline out with? Your clipper. So the same clipper that I am putting this bald guideline in with, this is going to be the same clipper I'm going to take the line out with, so the line should come out nice and easy. Now, if I was setting it in with my trimmer with something a little bit more harder and zero gaps, then yeah, I might struggle getting out the line, or I still might see a little line of demarcation, and it would take a little bit of more time with me going to detail that line right out. So it just make it a lot easier, I feel like, just setting the line in with your clipper instead of your trimmer, because you don't have to struggle getting that bald guideline out. And that's just a little gem for my beginner barbers. If you're struggling putting them lines in, just use the clipper. Try putting it in with the clipper. Now we are going to be using the foil shaver to bald him completely out. Notice I am using just the single side, and once I am getting a little bit closer to my guideline, I am scooping right out, because you do not want to create a harsh guideline. So just make sure that you are scooping right out. And right when I get to the back and I got a little bit more room to work with, then I switch over to both sides of the shaver. Now you're going to see me flip it right over, because I'm closer to the line now and I'm working in a smaller area, and I do not want to create a harsh guideline with this trimmer. So I like to just switch over to the single side and start to scoop right out once I get to that line. And that is also creating your first form of your transition. Now let's take this line out, man. It's the same exact steps that I always use taking this line out. I start close and we're gonna tap at that guideline. And you're gonna see that guideline start to shift up. Once that guideline shifts, you're gonna open up your lever one notch and you're gonna continue to just hit that line as well. And that line is gonna shift or it might just start disappearing. And then you're going to open up your lever one more notch and you should be halfway and your line should be completely faded out. If your line is still not out, just go back and repeat the same exact steps and your line should be completely faded out. Sometimes you still might see some darker spots as well in this guideline. So just do some lever play, use your corners and just hit them dark spots, man. This is where your blurriness starts, right here on this line. If you see any slight line of demarcation on this initial bar guideline, it can possibly throw off your whole transition. And this is a line that a lot of new barbers struggle with when getting out. It's one of your most important guidelines. Now we're going to come with the 0.5 guard and we're going to go up about an inch. I am going to stretch this fade. For those who watch me, you guys know that I love a stretch blend. So we're going to make this guideline about an inch, keeping it nice and consistent, and I'm still keeping that same exact shape. Now we're going to start to soften this line up. I'm still keeping the 0.5 on, but I am halfway in the lever and I want to be halfway in this guideline. I don't want to be any higher than halfway. Now we are going to close the lever up all the way and we just going to hit the very bottom of this guideline. Now I know in the back of my head already, this 0.5 is not going to take this line out completely. So all I'm worried about is softening up this line, getting ready to take it out with no guard open. Now we came back, no guard open. Now we're just going to be using the corner of the blades because I am taking out the line. I do not want to use the full blade because you can risk bringing up the fade. So when taking out a line, I like to use a lot of my corners, just using the last 3 teeth of the blade. If your line does not come out, just adjust your lever as needed. And you can see already, man, how my transition is pretty much coming together and I'm starting to really bring out that blur effect. That's what you're looking for. And any of them dark spots that you see, you know, just go back and just clean it up, do some more lever play. Make sure you're using the last 3 teeth of your blade and just detail out all them little dark spots that you see. It will really help your transition. But we also going to come back in detail after, so I'm really not worried about making this fade extra crispy right now. I'm just trying to get my rough draft in place. Now we're going to come back with the 1.5. This is the last guard I will be using in this fade, and we're going to go right up and we're going to scoop right out. So I'm just rolling this 1.5 guard right off the side of my client's head. So we're just going to go up and we're going to scoop right out. Just roll the guard right off your client's head. We are not trying to create another guideline. We are trying to blend right into the top. Now we're going to close the lever up all the way. And now we just want to worry about hitting the very bottom of the guideline. And towards the top near his ridge area, the hair was definitely a little bit darker on top than at the bottom, but that's okay as well. It's just going to require a little bit more detail work to really lighten that up and make it blend all the way together. So we're just going to continue just hitting the very bottom of that guideline. Then we're going to throw back on the 0.5 guard with the lever all the way open, use the corner of the blade and just hit the bottom of that line. And we are going to be adjusting our lever as needed. And our rough draft is pretty much set in. We went through our whole entire step. We went through our system. Now we just move on to the next side and come back and detail the fade up later. And on this side, we're just going to be repeating the same exact steps. And man, there's some stuff I want to get off my chest, man. I think it's so crazy for people that's not barbers sit here and talk about our craft and say, oh, you cannot make a career out of barbering, or it's not no money in barbering. That is so crazy to me because I was hearing the same exact thing when I wanted to attend barber school. Why are you doing that? Barbering is not a career. You want to quit your full-time job to go to barbering school? Look, man, check me out. Nobody is never going to see your vision the way that you see the vision. Nobody is never going to dream for you. You the author, man. You write your own story. This is your journey. When all them people was telling me, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. Barbering is not a career job. They don't make good money. You shouldn't quit your full-time job. Bro, all that did was just lit a fire, and I had to prove everyone wrong, man. That's what I did. You block out all the noise. If you're not riding with me, if you're not supporting me, you are holding me back to places that I want to go. And I took the risk, man, time after time after time after time. I'm taking a risk every single time. Went to barber school, still working a full-time job, 8 hours a day. After barber school, went to go open up a barbershop. Quit my full-time job. Went all in on the barbershop with zero clientele, man. Built my clientele up from the mud. Built the business up from the mud. And them same people that had all that stuff to say, eventually they come along for the ride, man. They sit down in your chair and they start paying you that money. All everybody see is the success, but nobody ever see what it took for you to get to that level where you are right now. And what I do after that, I took another risk. I dropped my clientele, I dropped my family, I dropped my barbershop, and then I moved to freaking Tampa, bro. Left everything behind and took a crazy risk. And what did I do here? First year down here, off 25 haircuts, 35 haircut and beards, I made $101,000. And that was more than I made back at home owning my own barbershop with a good clientele, charging $40 for a haircut and $50 for a haircut and beard. And then I moved to Tampa and I'm charging $25 and $35, and I made $101,000 my first year. And you try to tell me that barbering is not a career job, barbers don't make good money? Man, these people is crazy, bro. All you really need is about 100 to 150 unique clients to fill your books and start making good money. Now, how do you get the clientele? Bro, you have to offer free haircuts, man. You have to join these local Facebook groups and promote yourself. You have to hand out business cards. You have to go outside and hold the sign and promote the shop. You have to run Facebook ads. You cannot just sit around and rely on the shop to provide walk-ins for you, man. You have to understand, us barbers, we are our own boss. We have to go out and go get the clients. Bro, it's millions of people in this world that need haircuts. You can go anywhere in the world. As long as you have clippers, you can find the people and you are going to make money. Barbers just be lazy. They don't want it enough, man. They don't be hungry. They say they want to be a book barber. They say they want to make a lot of money. Bro, how? When you're not hungry enough to go out and get clientele. These people is here, man. We have to do a better job at using the resources that's right in front of us. Some people don't even like to sit in the shop all day, and you wonder why that you slow. You're not ever going to grow any clientele if you can't even be a shop rat. If you can't be first in a barbershop and you can't be the last one to leave. It's so frustrating to me because I am super passionate about my craft, man. And I really be giving people free game, man. I give y'all free game for free. It's for free, bro. I want everyone to have a crazy clientele. I want everyone to be able to make a lot of money, to be able to chase their goals. But y'all try to cheat the game, man. You cannot cheat the game at all. Whatever you put into barbering, that's the same thing that you are going to get out of it. And then when you start making all this crazy money from behind the chair, then you have to have your finances in order, man, which is really important, man. A lot of people know how to cut hair. A lot of people know how to build clientele. But a lot of people do not know the actual business side of this, man. You go out here and you get a great accountant, man. You go out here and get an S Corp or LLC. Now you're not paying so much money in taxes. So now we can make this much money behind the chair without caring about showing 130,000 to the IRS, because we know we're not going to be paying that much money with a good accountant. Oh man, I just love it way too much, man. I love the game, man. I love it. I love the game. I love the hustle, man. Barbering just changed my life, man. It changed my family life, man. And I'm just in love with it, man. I'm just in love with barbering. I'm just super passionate about it, man. And I just want to help so much people that I possibly can, man. It's crazy. But let's jump right back into the video. Now I have my 1.5 guard on, and I'm just softening up the rest of that line. Then we're gonna come back with the 0.5 guard open. And now we are starting to erase that line left over from that 1.5 guard. And the transition is going to start to come all the way together. And you see I am doing a little bit of lever play because the line wasn't fully coming out. And we just still using the corners because we do not want to bring this fade up any higher. And just look at that when I pull his head back, man, how everything just come together. Nice and clean, man, blurry. Now that the eyes have reset a little bit, now we can come back and we can actually detail the fade. And a lot of people, they have problems detailing, but I like to break it down like this. I like to just go back and repeat the same exact steps. So I threw on the 1.5 guard, and I'm starting right at the top. And we're gonna stay in that same shape. Then we're gonna close the 1.5, and we're gonna go a little bit lower. And this is like me detailing the fade now. I'm just gonna go back and repeat my same exact steps. Now we're gonna throw on the 0.5 guard, and we are going to start open, still using the corners the whole time. Now we're gonna close the lever up a little bit, and we're gonna go right underneath it. Now we're gonna come back with no guard open, just using the corner of the blade. Now I'm worrying about all them little hot spots that I see and all them dark spots. I like to call it hot spots and dark spots, basically the same exact thing, but it's something that's throwing off your transition. Now we're gonna jump right to the C-cup area. I picked up my Tune 45 trimmer, and how I like to line up a C-cup, I like to start right at the bottom of the vertical bar and just make a slight line. Then I like to go right to the bottom, and that's where I like to connect the bottom right into the top, just to give you that perfect C. And I like to go over this line, at least 2 or 3 times, just to make sure I have it nice and crispy. I always take my time when I am doing lineups or I'm doing a C-cup. And this is a nice little technique you can use just to make sure you have good symmetry with your C-cups lining up with each other, because you don't want one side higher than the other. So I just picked up the comb and I just dragged the comb right across the client's forehead so I can match up that the C-cups are going to be nice and symmetrical with each other. So that's a good gem, and that's something that I like to do. And we're just doing the same exact thing. We start right at the bottom of the vertical bar, and then we come at the bottom of the C-cup and we just connect them two together to create your C-cup. Now my client did want a front line, but he told me to keep it natural as possible, and he wanted all the baby hairs lined up. He told me do not push nothing back. So I just gave my client exactly what he wanted. So we started right in the middle because that's your balance, and that is where everything flows right out the center of the edge. And then we come to the other side, and you can see how I'm keeping everything nice and low, and I am not digging into them lighter spots. And this is how my client came in looking. It was a completely transformation, man. We had him looking like a totally different kid. And don't sleep on the kids, man. If you start cutting the kid at 2 years old, he's gonna grow up with you, man. So you can possibly have a client for like 18 plus years. So just keep that in mind. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, man. Also, if you like any tools or products that I use in this video, click the link below and your 10% off will come off automatically. It's your boy Morpheus, man. I'm checking out for now. I see y'all in the next video. Continue to be good and do good. And I'm out.